About 5 years ago, during the chaos and isolation of the COVID years, something shifted as society ground to a halt and the distractions of daily life fell silent. An unsettling truth emerged. The same patterns of narcissistic abuse, the intoxicating idealization that pulls people in, the cruel devaluation that erodes their worth, the subtle and overt control that keeps them off balance, weren't isolated incidents. They were signs of a deeper cultural sickness. This sickness isn't about a few bad actors. It's a system that normalizes emotional manipulation, uses deep psychological tools to keep people doubting themselves, teaches us to equate love with possession, and makes power games the blueprint for intimacy. It's a system that rewards power over partnership, domination over dialogue, control over connection, shaping how we love, how we fight, how we stay silent. So why aren't we confronting this head on? In this episode, we dig into why true equality demands tearing down the system itself, because real partnership can't grow in the shadows of a culture built on control. That day, I discovered the shocking connection between narcissistic abuse and patriarchy. And once you see it, everything starts to make sense. Welcome back to the Narcissistic Abuse Recovery Podcast. I'm Lynn, your host. Right around episode 85, our podcast was renamed to the Narcissistic Abuse Recovery Podcast, formerly Moving Forward with Hope, Narcissistic Abuse Recovery Podcast. Please be sure you are subscribed to our podcast. Now, before you hit pause thinking this is another male bashing session, I want you to know that's exactly the opposite of what we're doing here. In fact, what we're going to explore today is why pointing fingers at individual men actually keeps us stuck in the very system we're trying to change. We're going to dive into why real partnership, the kind that transforms lives and relationships, requires us to look beyond individual blame and tackle the invisible structures that shape all of our lives. Here's what I've learned after years of studying relationships and social dynamics. The most profound changes happen when we stop fighting symptoms and start addressing root causes. When we stop asking, how do we fix men? And start asking, how do we create systems that allow everyone to thrive? So whether you're a man, a woman, or anyone seeking deeper understanding of how to create genuine partnership in your life, this episode is for you. We're going to explore why individual solutions fall short of systemic problems, and most importantly, what it actually looks like to build relationships and communities based on authentic partnership.
Want to reclaim your time and financial freedom? Financial independence. Retire early, change your future. One simple step at a time. Gives you 23 proven steps. Shows you how to master compound interest, embrace frugal strategies, calculate your retirement date, and launch side hustles that fuel real passive income. Learn to overcome setbacks, shift your mindset, and break free from the 9-to-5 grind. Grab your copy on Amazon through our affiliate link and start changing your future one simple step at a time.
Let's start with a story that might sound familiar. Sarah is frustrated with her partner, Mike. She's carrying the mental load of their household, tracking doctor's appointments, remembering birthdays, managing social calendars, and noticing when they're out of milk. Meanwhile, Mike seems oblivious to these invisible tasks. Sarah's friends tell her, "You need to train him better," or "just stop doing it and he'll figure it out." The internet is full of articles about weaponized incompetence and man-children. The solution seems simple: fix Mike. But here's the thing: this individual approach misses the bigger picture entirely. Mike isn't failing because he's inherently incompetent or because he's a bad person. He's operating within a system that never taught him to see domestic work as his responsibility. From childhood, he watched his mother manage the household while his father remained blissfully unaware. He absorbed messages that his career was his primary contribution to family life. Meanwhile, Sarah isn't naturally better at noticing when they need milk. She's been socialized since childhood to pay attention to everyone else's needs, to smooth over problems before they become visible, to carry the emotional temperature of every room she enters. This is the limitation of individual solutions. They assume that systemic problems can be solved through personal effort and good intentions. They put the burden on individuals to overcome structures that are bigger than any one person. It's like trying to solve poverty by telling poor people to budget better, or addressing racism by asking people to be less prejudiced. These approaches aren't wrong, but they're insufficient. They treat symptoms while leaving the disease untouched. When we focus solely on changing individual behavior, we miss the opportunity to create lasting change. We exhaust ourselves trying to swim upstream against a current that's pulling us backward. But what if, instead of fighting the current, we changed the direction of the river itself? That's what dismantling patriarchy actually means. Not attacking men, but transforming the systems that limit everyone's potential for authentic partnership. Let's get clear on what we're actually talking about when we say patriarchy. Because this word has become so loaded, so weaponized, that many people shut down the moment they hear it. Patriarchy isn't about men being evil or women being victims. It's a social system, a set of structures, institutions, and cultural norms that organize society around hierarchical power dynamics. At its core, patriarchy elevates certain traits: dominance, competition, emotional suppression, independence, while devaluing others like collaboration, emotional intelligence, interdependence, and care work. Think of it like the operating system on your computer. It's invisible, but it determines how everything else functions. You don't hate your operating system, but if it's outdated and creating problems, you update it. Let's look at how this shows up in real life. In most workplaces, the ideal employee is someone who can work long hours without family obligations interfering. This isn't necessarily because employers hate families. It's because the system was designed when most workers had stay-at-home wives managing everything else. Today, when both partners work, this system creates impossible choices. Someone has to leave early for school pickups. Someone has to take time off for sick children. Someone has to manage the household coordination. And guess what? Statistics show it's overwhelmingly women who make these career sacrifices. Now, we could look at this and say, women just need to negotiate better, or men need to step up more. And yes, individual action matters. But the deeper problem is a system that demands workers pretend they don't have lives outside of work. The patriarchal system hurts everyone. Men are pressured to be primary breadwinners, often working in jobs that drain their souls to provide for families they barely see. They're discouraged from showing vulnerability, from asking for help, from prioritizing relationships over achievement. They miss out on the deep joy of being fully present with their children. Women are caught in an impossible double bind, expected to be successful in careers designed for people with wives, while also being the primary caretakers and emotional managers of their families. This is why individual solutions fall short. You can't solve a systemic problem with individual effort alone. It's like trying to fix a broken foundation by rearranging the furniture. But here's the revolutionary part. When we recognize patriarchy as a system, we can change it. We can create new structures that work for everyone. And that's exactly what's happening in the most successful partnerships I've studied. They're not just negotiating who does the dishes. They're reimagining how households can function. They're not just asking for workplace flexibility. They're demonstrating what human-centered organizations look like. They're building the new system from the inside out. And it's important to remember that these patriarchal scripts don't just shape our everyday lives. They also set the stage for narcissistic abuse. When a system teaches us to silence ourselves, accept blame, or feel unworthy, it creates the perfect storm for abusers to manipulate, control, and exploit.